Hey guys, the Creator 13 here, back again for another episode of the Laidback SMP. So, I've kind of noticed that my video quality wasn't great in the earlier parts of the series, as well as I've kind of been like taking breaks and like all that kind of stuff. So, I plan to get things going again in the next about month or so. So yeah, so this episode will be a recap of everything that's happened from now until episode 15, this is 14, whatever, and then also the things that have happened since the last episode and now. So I'll get you caught up, and yeah, that was a bad voice crack, god dang. So yeah, let's get on with the video. Spawn. This is basically pretty much World Spawn. It's changed a lot since the first episode. A clip should be rolling on screen. But in the first episode, my video and audio quality were terrible because I was using the Xbox Game Bar, which sucked at recording. And then we moved up the hill, right? And it was me, Sniper Slayer, Hazel, and Darth Star. So we went over this hill, and this is where we decided to make our bases. This was Sniper Slayer's old house. No clue what's up with the wooden planks. This was his house. And then here was Darth Star's old house before he left the server. This house is actually, whenever I came back here to like make a farm or something, I'd always sleep in here because he was the only house to actually have a bed. So yeah, and then back over on that hill, it should be popping in a frame in a second. There's Hazel's old house. He built that pretty quick into the season. So that's his place. And then the first thing I did was I was gonna make like a little house with like a chimney and stuff. And so I got a bunch of trees, and this was my area where I was sleeping. I made like a little hut, but it's kind of gotten torn down. And this was where my chimney was gonna be for my house before I decided to move it. So yeah, so we have what's that called? Spruce, and then dark oak. I thought I planted a dark oak right there. So that's pretty cool. And then that's where I started my mine. So we were all located in this savannah area from the start of the season. But then I decided to download Chunk Base, and I found a mountain. So that's where episode 2 starts.
Alright guys, back on the time lapse. As you can see, I'm in this snowy biome. I gathered some resources, I made some variants of the resources, and I painstakingly, mind you, moved all my gear over to the snowy biome because of this mountain. It's actually really cool looking, and Sniper's like down that way, so yeah. My goals, right, are to 1, defeat the Ender Dragon, 2, defeat the Wither, and like make a beacon or whatever.
Oh, I thought you meant for this episode. I was gonna be like,
Oh
what?
no. My goals for this episode are to build a house and not die.
My house. This was my first house because I didn't do anything over at spawn. This is, as you can see, 2,500 blocks away, and about 600 blocks away on the Z coordinate. This is the final form of my house. By the way, the reason you see polished granite is because that used to be granite bricks before I changed the resource pack. So, I made this house in episode 2 and episode 3, also in episode 4. Like, this entire complex was made throughout, like, the first couple episodes. Basically, I'll be rolling clips on screen now, but there was a staircase up here and then down to the basement. And then this is where all my armor stands were, and then in here was my kitchen, and then my, like, storage area in here, and then my living room. So this was my living room area, and then as you can see, this is my storage area. Oh my god, I was so, what the frick? Yeah, this was my area, and I have a sniffer. Whatever. So this was where I kind of ended up. I was the first to leave spawn, major way. Here's my bedroom. You know, and so then, yeah. And then up here was kind of like my office area. I still come here sometimes when I need to mooch enchanted books off myself. But, yeah. So this was where I kept all my enchanted books. A clip of this should be across the screen now. I did this really cringy segment called Home Renovations in episode 5, I think. And I had to take the entire audio out, so that was a really bad episode. I had to take the entire audio out because it was copyrighted. But, yeah, there were good memories here. So, I started the house, and I completed everything besides the interiors in episode 2. Alright, so the first thing I did in episode 3 was I went into the nether. There were, by the way, here's a snow farm and a nether wart farm. So I had a really good setup. But in the nether, right, right now it's connected to the nether hub, which is, it's not finished, but it's just an area where we can kind of run around and everything's on the same Y level. So yeah, and then I was in an area that was connected with about 3 bastions. So there were about 3 bastions, and then I had a little ice road that a future member of the server made, which is pretty cool. So then in episode 4, I think, I started making a bunch of farms. So at this point, I had iron armor, and I was doing pretty good for myself. Oh, shoot, gotta sleep. Alright, so my farms, I started out with... I started out with the basalt shack back here, which I had made in a previous survival world, and I thought it was pretty cool. You could kind of just, I didn't have any hoppers underneath it. I just kind of had this, you know. So you could make basalt, and I used that for my pathways, as you can see. And then I had a semi-automatic bamboo farm. At this point, I had made a villager breeder down here. The path goes right by it. The path wasn't here before, but at this point, I had made a villager breeder. Sorry for the lag. In order to make iron farms and get all my armor and enchantments. The armor I'm wearing right now came from these guys. I think it came from Oswald, yeah. Oh, guess not. But yeah. So it came from these guys. And oh my gosh, there's Z. Sorry. And I originally started out with only a couple, with a farmer. I started out with Thomas. And that's pretty cool. But I made the villager breeder with a couple dudes. They used to be up there, but I think they died from a village over by Sniper's base. At this point, Sniper and Hazel moved out, and Darth Star stopped getting on the server. So then this way, I'd started work on a raid farm, but like it wasn't near, like, anywhere near completion. I had found a pillager outpost over in the industrial district, but I made at least the start of this farm, I think. I made the iron farm at this point. So that's episode 4. Yeah. And then episode 5 started with the what I like to call the mega farm. I had built this once before in a different world. Most of the farms in here are made by Silent Whisperer, by the way. I'll point out any ones that aren't, but we ain't about to spoil the rest of the industrial district. But basically, this is the raid farm, and then this is the OG outpost that it spawned in. Basically, how it works is pillagers spawn in here, and there's a trident thing that kills it, and whoever threw the trident last, it gives bad omen to, and they go up there in that little box, and there's a villager up there, and then you can turn on a trident to kill the pillagers and stuff, and it all falls down a little hole into a storage system. I made a very rudimentary version of this up, like when I first started this. So that was in episode 5. I also did the home renovations thing, like the super cringy thing, you know. All right, episode 6. I discussed some plans for my base. I wanted to make like a town in a mountain valley behind my base. I'll show that. But I was gonna make a town behind my base, but there was a big hill in the way, so I wanted to blow it up with TNT. TNT does not do as much damage as you think over here on Bedrock. But I made this creeper farm. I keep in mind that I had iron gear, so it took so long to gather all the gear or all the wood necessary to make all the trapdoors. It didn't end up working because apparently I needed to build it in the sky. This is the only non-Silent Whisperer farm, I believe, and this is by Oink Oink. He released an updated tutorial that Hazel used, but I'll show you their bases pretty soon. So this is it never really worked. It gave me probably about 20 gunpowder. All right, so if it would ever load, I had started mining this area out with the TNT. I did not get this far at all. But my entire plan was to mine this out as far that way as the mountain goes, if it would ever load. And then that way, probably about another 400 blocks. But I had only made one sliver of it done. A clip should be on screen now. But it was bad. It was really bad. So, that's why I'm not making my base here anymore, because I'm not doing that. But I'd made that entire creeper farm and all that, and yeah, so, So, episode 7 kicked off with upgrades to Diamond. I'd finally gotten an armorer villager. No. I'd started using, instead of video editor, it was Microsoft Clipchamp. So, so that was in episode 7. In episode 8, around here somewhere, yeah, in episode 8, I had made this door, and basically it was meant to be like the gateway into the town. So I had that. Sorry, the lag. All right. And so basically, if you put a book, like this specific book, in there and then press the button, it would open the door, and there was a 3x3 piston door, and then you could come and get your book. But yeah, so that was the main focus of the episode. But yeah, so my audio quality was still garbage, but... Hey guys, the Creator 13 here, back again for another episode of Laidback SMP. Today we're starting things off in my test world. I was defeating a couple bastions. By the way, that's my mine. So I defeated a couple bastions. And then I think episode 9, let me check. Yeah, episode 9 was the Warden. I had found an ancient city down here because I mined the wrong direction. I knew on Chunk Base there was an ancient city that way, but I thought I was mining that way. But I was actually mining that way, and so I ran into the ancient city. And so the whole episode is pretty much focused around beating the Warden. I'll put clips up on the screen. So then episode 10, I went out and I got all the armor trims. It was really crazy. Like I went out and got every single armor trim available at the time, besides I think Silence and Rib, because I had a Rib armor trim, but it got I died with it. And there wasn't another like chest in the area, which is kind of sad, but yeah. At this point, I think I also made a Guardian farm, which is my XP farm. I'll put a clip of that up on the screen. And then this is the Guardian farm that we made. So yeah, so the Guardians are in there, and you AFK up here. I'll give you a demonstration actually, because I need my Elytra's like almost gone. So No clue why that happened, but you flick the switch on and you stand on the red glass and you hold whatever needs XP'd, and then your armor just does it automatically. I got all my stuff repaired, and then bam, that's good. So now I'm just gonna go boop. I like these new XP orbs. Look at them. And yeah, so that was really fun, making that guardian farm. It required a lot of tridents, but yeah. So that was the episode 11. I'd made it was a Silent Whisper tutorial, and there was an easy, medium, and hard, or not easy, medium, hard, big, medium, and small version of the farm. I'd started off with the small one. So yeah, so the small one is the one I built in the episode. I'll put clips on the screen. And I also made the bridge around the iron farm. Let me show you that real quick. The bridge around the iron farm. I'd started the bridge as well at some point, which it was the episode 12 is when I like completed the bridge. If it would load, yeah. That's when I completed the bridge. We don't really use it anymore since we use elytra, but it's pretty cool to have around, which is pretty nice. At this point, Krings, one of my friends in real life, he joined the server, and he's pretty nice, except for the fact that he freaking destroyed my house, Krings. I went to his beacon, which we had defeated the Wither at some point, and the Ender Dragon, yeah, the Wither and the Ender Dragon we defeated at around this time. And we defeated the Wither and the Ender Dragon, and then we got beacon. So I stole the diamond blocks from under his beacon. And so he did the only sane thing and lit my entire house on fire. Which, that's fun. So yeah. So, yeah. But we also, I also, like, really grinded in that pit area to get that, how it is now. And then in episode 14, I started planning a nether hub, which I'm not going to do because it's way too much of a project. I'm going to wait until Mojang makes us able to build on the nether roof. But yeah. So, since then, I've done some progress. Raid farm. Smelting hut. Sugar farm. Moss farm. Bigger moss farm that we used to make bone meal. Cactus farm. Gold farm. Dripstone farm. Better dripstone farm. Wool farm. Lava farm. Cactus farm, but from a better angle. Honey farm. Bamboo farm. Slime farm. Broken PC. Tree farm. But I wanted to show you everybody else's base as well. So here we're entering into Sniper's starter base territory. So he made this like cool little bridge. And the bridge goes, if it would load, across the river, or across this like mountain valley area. And then he made this starter base. I'll play clips from his video in here. But he made this this starter base, which is pretty cool. And it has like a walled off path and like a little stable for his horse Gerald. I guess he took Gerald. And then his house he'd been working on this for a while. Has this like living room area, and then like a area up here, and then like a nice bedroom. There used to be beds here. So yeah. So he spent a lot of time making this. Most of the time though was spent on this basement area right here, which was the formal entrance for his place for a while. He was gonna make a second layer down there, but nothing happened with that. But he spent a long time on this base area back when he still had iron armor. He still only has diamond armor since he's not on the server much anymore and keeps dying. But yeah, his new base, however, is down over here. He was gonna make a base right there. That's the trail ruins down there. He was gonna make a base right here, like a train station thing that connected to the museum, but he decided against it. This is the base, or the village I got my villagers from, right there. So that's like the original villager base area. We're calling that Witherton because we fought the Wither in a village that's up here. We'll see it in a minute. Yeah, right here. We fought the Wither in this village, but Sniper thought that other village was the village we were fighting the Wither in, so he called it it's called Witherton, and this is Wither Town. This is actually where we defeated the Wither. I think I might have recorded that. The thing might have been corrupted though. But we have like a little monument over here. Ow. Owie. But yeah. So that was pretty cool. But here's Sniper's area, and that's his nether portal. And then he's planning to make like a like, you know the story of like the Red Sea from like the old Bible Testament thing? The God parted like the Red Sea for Moses or whatever, and he basically took that because he's kind of religious. He took that and he made like what if there was like a civilization that like lived in like a parted like water kind of thing. And so he's clearing out this like glass tunnel of water. He's clearing that out all the way down to some island down there. He's gonna make like buildings on the side, so it's gonna be like a street, but it's like in the middle of the ocean, big flat area. That's gonna be my base. I'm gonna have like a big cliff, and it's gonna overlook like an ocean, and that's gonna be really nice. Like a, and that's I'm gonna make like a town. So yeah, so I've already started work on some buildings. I'm gonna keep working on them as the season goes on. But yeah. Alright, so Krings also made this like floating island thing. This isn't his actual base. He was planning on making it his actual base, but it's not. So yeah, he was making like a castle thing, I think. I don't know. But that used to be his portal, and this was like his area. And then now he's draining an ocean monument in who knows where, and that's gonna be his base. He's gonna make it almost like in Hermitcraft. I don't know which season it was, but Good Times with Scar made like a base where I think it was season 7. He made like a base, and it was like a drilling into like a hole, but it was like an excavation site. That's the kind of thing that he would plan on making. Alright, this is Hazel's base. So he's made some considerable progress. So first off, he started down there in the valley. He started down there in the valley. So he made a sugarcane farm and a super smelter and his house, right? And then he moved up the mountain after he did some work in a creative testing world with the help of a structure file. By the way, by episode 12, my audio quality improved. I forgot to mention that. I realized. So yeah, so this is his house, and it's pretty cool, except for the fact that Krings blew it up with an end crystal. I'm starting to think Krings is a bad influence on the server. So yeah. So then, he also made this. Frick. So, this is gonna be his base. I'm going to go down here. Yeah, so this is a color combination thing, and that will lead into a different room. Don't tell him I broke in here. But yeah, so the color combination thing, like, works, and it was made by, like, the Bowtie Man, which is pretty cool. But, yeah, and he even has this, like, working elevator, which is really nice. Bingo. The Creeper Farm. So the Creeper Farm is absolutely massive, but it's much better than my Creeper Farm. Then, over there is my Drowned Farm. So, yeah, that's where I get copper, but not really because it doesn't really work. So Silent Whisper, you need a new farm. At the end of this tunnel is the ghast farm. So this ghast farm is pretty nice, pretty nice, pretty big. So the chests are on either end of this room. They might still have some gunpowder in them actually. I think I just filled up a shulker box and then left whatever. Yeah. So that's kind of like the average like loot table of this kind of area. So this is down here. This is my AFK spot. You have to stand in between these 4 glass panes. But here's the farm. I'm gonna stand in here so none of my tridents despawn. But you can hear the gas dying and they get killed in those mine carts, like that kind of thing. Sometimes they fly off, but whatever. No clue why that guy's not dying. And that side of the farm kind of has some problems sometimes. But, yeah. So then you get your gunpowder in here, and yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to recap here. If you're, this should probably be your starting point if you haven't, like, figured that out already. So yeah, thanks for watching the new episode 1, and new videos coming soon. I've almost finished this build that I've been working on for months. So yeah, like and subscribe, and I'll see you then. Adios, amigos.